This is Zachary Ingram. He's 24. He's from Eagle Lake. He was babysitting 4 children. And one of them was 3 months old, a little boy. He said he left the little boy in the swing while he went to the bathroom for 10 or 15 minutes. And when he came back from the bathroom, guess what? He wasn't breathing. He was pale. So he calls his wife up and she says, well, hang the phone up, dial 911, and they instructed him to start giving CPR. Of course, we arrived and we saw this child had significant injuries. The child was rushed to the hospital and ultimately taken to Hillsborough County to a specialist, and we didn't know whether or not he was going to live. It appears that even though he's got significant injuries and will probably have significant injuries for the rest of his life, that he's going to survive. So the investigation begins. We find out that he's the only adult in the house with the children. So he first says, well, one of the siblings hit him in the head with a rattle. That didn't work. Then he made up a story the second time we talked, well, maybe one of the siblings carried him and dropped him. That didn't work. What we found was brain bleeds. We found edema and trauma in the spinal cord. We found bruising. This child is a victim of shaken baby syndrome. The doctors and specialists in Hillsborough County confirmed that. And as a result of their investigation, we're able to arrest Zachary for aggravated child abuse, which is a first-degree felony, and he can be sentenced up to 30 years in prison. Should the baby die, then he could be sentenced, obviously, to life for murder of the baby. So after a series of interviews, he finally said, well, I shook the baby a little bit, and well, maybe I shook the baby harder than I should have. So the truth finally came out, or at least he confessed to the vicinity of the truth. But here's what we know. For whatever reason, he became frustrated with this baby and shook it to the point it almost died, and this beautiful baby boy may die. If not, he will suffer for the rest of his life significant injuries. Well, when something this outrageous occurs, it rings all the bells and whistles immediately. And we also depend on our colleagues in the medical field to help us, because truly there's no one there to testify. They're all infants and babies. So we have to go with time and motion and circumstance. Well, we clearly showed that his wife was not home. We found video of her shopping in stores during that period of time. So the wife is out of this. Now we're dealing with him. We can clearly show he's the only one with the child at the time, but it takes medical experts to give us the exact determination of what occurred. I mean, there's damage to the pupils, to the retina. We see damage throughout this child's body, and it's all from very violent, hard shaking of the baby. Obviously, the mother was under investigation as well as Zachary. There is zero indication at this time that the mother has any culpability. There always will be a complete and thorough investigation, but not only us, but DCF, because there are other children that were in the home as well. So at the end of the day, the investigation is not complete, but at this point in the investigation, he appears to be the only culprit. DCF will put a plan in place to look out for the welfare of the children. He is locked up in the county jail. He's not going anyplace. He's not going to go home. And if he could make a bond, then there would be severe restrictions so that he could never be around children alone. Sure, I can tell you, whenever you have a child anyone has a child, keep in mind, do they come with directions? No. Your washing machine has more directions than your baby. So here's what you have to do. If the child gets on your last nerve, is screaming and you can't figure it out, lay the baby down in a room on his or her back and take a break. Call for your mom, call for a neighbor, call for a friend, call 911. But if you get at your wit's end for whatever reason, you can never strike out at an infant. But allowing a baby to scream and cry appropriately placed on its back in a room while you take a time out is okay. It's not going to hurt the baby to cry. What is going to hurt the baby is if you lose control and shake it or slap it or throw it. And unfortunately, we see that all too often. Well, as a first-degree felony, that's 30 years in prison. 30 years. So upon his conviction, I mean, he could not get out before he's 54 if the child survives. Now, the child's stable, and we pray that the child not only survives, but recovers from these traumatic injuries, and maybe with a lot of prayer and a lot of good medicine and great doctors, that they can help the child get back to some level of normalcy. But right now, we're severely concerned that the child will never be normal again, and the child could even die. But that doesn't appear to be the outcome at this moment in time. It's shocking to me. This beautiful baby boy will probably never be able to live his life normally because this guy can't control his emotions. And he needs to pay for it. Well, the question is he distraught because the baby's injured and he injured the baby, or is he distraught that he's been caught? Or has he calmed down now, and is he afraid now? And we see all of those emotions. Most of the time, this kind of person doesn't stay mad, but they snap. They just can't take it anymore, and they shake the baby or throw the baby. Well, after it's happened, usually they are sorry, but then they start making up the excuses. And I can tell you from a great deal of experience that child abuse is evident. We have experts that can look at injuries and look at the age of injuries. And sometimes, as the investigation goes on, we not only find the instant injuries that have occurred, but we go back and see broken bones that are healing later on. That's not unusual. Don't know that that's so in this case. But usually it's a fit of rage that passes, then they're afraid, then they're scared, then they may be remorseful. But you've ruined this baby's life. And you need to pay for the rest of your life. And certainly 30 years is going to be the rest of the best years of his life if he's convicted. Of course, we investigate and we do CPTs on all the children. We do, and we saw no injuries to any of the others at this point in the investigation. So when we're doing these investigations, we don't just deal with this event or this child. We circle out to other children they may have had access to. So there will be a complete and thorough investigation of the entire family, and DCF's involved as well as the sheriff's office. We don't know. We don't know, and as you know, obviously that's part of the investigation that has not been completed yet. Has he shaken a baby before? We don't have that information available now, but we never are satisfied with just the investigation for what's occurring now. We're concerned with what he may have done in the past. Are there other children? What other children did he have access to? Did mom cover up stuff? So there is a very detailed investigation of not only the primary suspect, but the entire the entire family and friends and network around them.